Hello, and welcome to the Circuit Breakers interview series. I'm your host, Steve Semler, and today I'm joined by Bryan Hoffman, who's the founder of Spigot Design and Cinch Web Services. Bryan, thank you so much for joining us. Would you like to kick us off with a brief background as to who you are and what you do?
Sure, Steve. Thanks for having me. My name's Brian. I manage and run Spigot and Cinch. Background on those. Um, I initially started Spigot after graduating from design school in Minnesota. The thought process there was to just get started with my own thing rather than working for other people. I wanted to strike out on my own. I wanted to have my own time, my own ability to support myself and my family. um that Spigot started in Minnesota mostly as a sort of a side project as I worked with my partner who's actually still in St. Paul. But um once we moved to Utah in 2007, I went full time on Spigot. And I was, as being trained as a graphic designer, um, I quickly kind of switched from all things graphic design to almost we're almost 100% now web-based. We build custom WordPress sites for small, medium-sized businesses. Um, and we still do some graphic design work, but for the most part, it's all web. Cinch sort of started out as an offshoot of Spigot just in the sense that it started out as a place to host websites for our customers. A lot of our customers had hosting from legacy uh, companies where they were charging a lot, hard to sort of get into, add databases and things like that. So we started that as just an easy place for people to host, for us to host our clients. Um, at this point, Cinch still is mostly hosting only our own clients. We do host a few other folks here and there, but Cinch has also morphed into not only hosting, but we do press support, maintenance, which includes updates, backups, uptime monitoring, just sort of that day-to-day thing. And then we also do what we call 30-minute fixes, and that's you have something wrong, we'll fix it. That's just how that goes. So um at this point, we're here in Utah, Park City, and we've got a small team of contractors that help us out. I'm currently working out of my office while we remodel our studio, but yeah, things are going all right. So
Cool. And you're working mostly on the WordPress and all of the things that go into that these days.
yeah, I mean, we at one point we were working with a few other content management systems, but it was probably 12, 14 years ago that we just basically switched over to WordPress, WooCommerce, and we haven't really looked back on any of the rest of them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's, WordPress and WooCommerce and stuff are working well for certainly, my website and a couple of the associations and the clients I've worked with too. So helpful
Yeah.
to build it out there. And really a lot more goes into web design and support these days than people might realize with all of the plugins and the connections and things. Um, what what has helped you kind of translate that complexity into stuff that's easy for your customers to understand?
Well, let's look at that from sort of two sides. When we're talking about web design and creation of websites, the biggest thing that has helped us help ourselves as well as help our customers is developing a process of, at one point we were just building websites. What do you need? Let's kind of figure it out as we go. And then over time, we've come to understand like there's a research phase that needs to happen. Whether that's for SEO, that's for like the all types of research, client goals, sales funnels, those types of things. Um, then that leads into a strategy phase, so that research turns into us building out a website just from a thinking standpoint, and then a wireframing stage. And then only then do we start the actual designs phase, which we'll do mock-ups in Figma, and then we'll build it out in WordPress. But so that whole process, being able to sort of talk things through from the get-go and be able to have these phases that clients are involved with, signing off on, understanding before we move on to the next phase, that's been super helpful. On the hosting, the maintenance side, I think, we built out a system that makes it fairly straightforward and easy for people to understand what they're getting when they sign up with us for hosting and maintenance. Before we set that up, there was a lot of like, hey, you should probably get in and, update your site or make sure it's backed up if you get a chance. And rather than just hoping that clients would do that, we've said, hey, this is what we do. This is how it's done. You should pay us this small monthly fee and we'll take care of it for you. So those have been on both sides of it. It's been a learning experience for us, and I think for the most part, clients are pretty happy about that. So
Yeah, and you've made it easy to get that process to where you can explain it to where you can sell the value of it and
right.
just have it repeatable, it sounds like.
Yeah, right. And that makes the people that work with us understand it easier too. So
Yeah. But as kind of the business landscape continues to evolve, how do you and your partners stay adaptable and your team stay adaptable and open to change? What do you do to kind of break the cycle of or the circuit of being in the routine and focus on the innovations?
that's a good question because I mean, it has, like, the web has always been changing. I remember when the iPhone came out and apps were going to destroy the web, and all things have supposedly been coming along to destroy the web, and it hasn't happened um, yet. I did read an article this morning about how large language models may start deteriorating the web experience, but who knows, right? Um, in terms of us staying on top of things, it's mostly just trying to be involved as much as we can with um, our peers, through social media stuff, through Mastodon now, those types of things. I'm trying to stay up on the latest trends. At this point in my career, now hire people that are better than me. So I've got designers that are better designers than me, and that's been a huge help for me to be able to stay on top of some of the latest things without actually having to do the research and things myself. Um, from a business standpoint, we've mostly been lucky to not have to advertise too much. That's changing. That's changed in the last couple of years. We're starting to have to do a bit more active marketing and active advertising, and that's been yet another learning curve, which, it's I sort of wish I started that 10 years ago, but you started your business on your own and you're doing it all yourself. It's just a big handful. So um, for me, trying to get more people on board that are experts at things that I can rely on it's probably been one of the bigger things that's helped me in terms of like staying on top of business.
Yeah, so you don't have to wear all the hats. Yeah,
Yeah, still wearing many of the hats, but it'd be nice to be able to start passing those hats on for sure.
yeah. How do you help your technical folks, the designers, um, keep keep up their ability to stay current while you manage more of the business side of it?
At this point, I act mostly as a creative director for them, so helping to keep them sort of in line in terms of like what Spigot design style is or has been. They are certainly changing that and helping us make it different and better. But just allowing them to take the reins on things, giving them the responsibility to making sure that uh, design problems get solved versus, sometimes it's easy for designers to sort of back themselves into a corner and to say, well, I was stuck in this corner. And you have to say, well, that's the problem. That's what designers do. We solve those problems. So do that, and giving them the opportunity to try new things and different projects. So uh, that's probably the biggest thing, is just allowing them as much freedom and responsibility as I can.
Yeah. What do you do uh, to help your customers connect with the designers that are assigned to the project?
Um, that's a good question. Uh, they are, when we do meet with our customers, the designers on those meetings, and I allowed them to be the ones to do the presentation. I'm there to sort of be the intro to the meeting, sort of help guide things along, but it's up to our designers to sit down or to explain to the customer, you know, what problems we're solving, why we've solved it in this particular way. Um, and so our customers do get to know our designers along the way for sure. Um, I that it's not necessarily a requirement if somebody doesn't want to do it, like they don't have to, but I think most our designers have wanted to do that. It's sort of just yet another fun thing for them to um to be involved and to feel as a part of it all. So
Yeah,
and
that lets you
I didn't,
play more of that director role.
yeah, clients seem to be okay and enjoy it. So um not all of our designers are local. Some of them are even we have a designer in Germany and she's great. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, well, anyway.
Yeah. On the tech side, as you've grown, I'm sure you run into some technical challenges. Yeah, if you don't mind, what's the biggest kind of technical challenge you and the team have faced? And how'd you handle that?
So technically, so a lot of what we do as far as like the one great thing about WordPress is that there are a ton of plugins and things out there. So most of the functionality that we have and that we've needed has either been covered or it's well covered enough that we can take something and sort of understand it and change it. Um, but honestly, the biggest problems we've had over the years have been on the hosting side of things. Sometimes it seems like, oh, you put sites on a server and they're just fine and nothing ever goes wrong, but that's really not the case. I'd say once every 6 months, something happens with a server, something will go wrong. We now have found a really solid, good host that's based here in the US. Um, Over time, we've not struggled, but we've been with hosts that have initially been solid, independent companies, and they've provided awesome support and awesome service. And then what's ended up happening is we've had um they'll get bought out by a bigger company, and then slowly their support sort of fades a little bit and the quality of the service fades. At this point, we found a really great host, and they've been a really great support for us to be able to help us manage that server side stuff that it's more complicated than it seems. So
Yeah, I understood. If you could, if you could wave a magic wand over your business and make one thing better, what would that be?
um I think uh, I would like to have a better understanding on how to have a continual business um, a pipeline of customers.
Mhm.
We either have um, too much work or not enough work, and there's never seems to be anywhere in between. It would be nice to be able to have a steady pipeline that's easily managed, and but that would probably be the best thing. Um, we could certainly use some more contractors that are good at different things. We're still looking for those, so those are Those are a couple of areas.
Yeah. Kind of it's one of the things I hear from lots of small business owners and tech folks is the challenge of getting the consistent pipeline, getting the consistent marketing stream on one hand, and then the talent to move it on the other. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we all get good at the things that we do, but being good at business is a whole separate, that's a career in itself. So
Yeah. Speaking of that, what advice would you offer to aspiring entrepreneurs who are just starting out or facing challenges in the tech sector?
I think the biggest reason we're still here is because we're still here. We've been able to build ourselves up from the ground on our own. Um, we've done most of everything ourselves from the beginning, and probably a little bit too much DIY, but I think that over the years, I have seen other companies come and go that have come in with outside money, and they they grow fast and then die quick. We've had a slow growth mentality and a slow change, like not slow change, but slow adoption of new uh adding overhead, I should say. So our overhead growth has been slow, and this really helped us to be able to support ourselves, our family, and also to grow the business on at a slow pace, and we're still here for that. So um I'm not sure that's great advice, because I'm sure if I would have, I don't know, thrown a lot more money at stuff, like I would have grown faster. But again, we've been here since 2007 and we're still here. So
Yeah.
I'm thankful for all that for sure.
And you've resisted the chasing the shiny object problem, it sounds like.
Sure. Yeah. We've tried, our whole goal is to build a great product and not try, provide a good service, add a good value. And those are hopefully those are still things that our customers see in us. And I assume they are, because most of our customers don't leave us once they get signed on. So
Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time today, Brian.
yeah,
Great meeting you, learning more about your entrepreneurial journey here a bit. And for those watching, when you're faced with challenges in your business, consider these tips and feel free to reach out to me for coaching or training support. As always, I'm Steve Semler at FocalPoint Business Coaching, helping techies be great leaders. Look forward to seeing you in our next episode. Thanks.